On today's episode of the Command Center podcast, Fred talks about how he hates box jumps. We got the Giants quick review. Not a lot going on there. And the haters, you got to get out of here, man. No haters allowed. Bengals, how do we stop Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase? Yep. And on Hell Yeah and Hell No, we talk, does this defense get 3 sacks? And Fred knows how to play an instrument. It all starts right now. Welcome to the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss. And just a reminder, we are a People's Choice Podcast Awards nominee.
Yes.
And we've been talking about that for a while. But
Crown us,
19th
man.
week in a row.
We got to claim it. We got to claim it. If we don't claim it, then we ain't going to get it. Go ahead and crown us.
But yeah, we'll find out whether we get it or not. We'll go from a nominee to an award winner, potentially, on September 30th.
I wonder, do we get an award? Do we get a trophy or something?
That'd be cool.
To really acknowledge that we are the champions?
Producer Jason's nodding yes, so I'm going to say we have that on the thing, like, oh, hey, look at us.
And even if we don't, it's still,
Just being nominated says everything.
It's been a good ride.
Hey, just to be on the Heisman list.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's how I felt when I was a Heisman candidate.
I was up for the Heisman.
When I was a candidate, I was
that's
like,
crazy.
Hey, bro, just to be on the list, man. I mean,
Logan, the only person on this show that wasn't on the Heisman list.
That is true. I'm the only person on the show who didn't do a lot of things. Let me just say that. I feel very special to be here. Like, I knew, I was always a fan of Tana growing up. Again, no offense to you, Fred. Just
offensive players get the love.
Yeah.
I understand.
And so, I went back and watched some of his highlights. Remember that thing that was circulating around on Instagram of him in Miami? And I was like, I forgot how sick Tana was and how cool it was to play with him. And now we do the show with you, which is great.
Know what I'm talking about?
Know that when we was in school. When we was in school, because I was one of the top corners, he always asked me,
and he thought he wanted that smoke.
Yeah. They were like, who's the best wide receiver in college? And everybody was on David Terrell. Mm-hmm. And I was like, he stinks.
Wasn't he in Cleveland?
No. He got drafted by Chicago.
Yeah. That's right.
He got drafted by Chicago, and they was like, "Oh, how about David Terrell?" And I like, he stinks. I'd say 6 in Miami is who y'all need to worry about. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I went to Miami looking for him.
Yeah,
that is a crazy story. I'm sure we've told that story on this podcast.
Told it.
Dude, but I could not imagine if I was you and I opened the door and Fred was like, "Hey, Tana, what's up?"
No, you couldn't imagine how I felt when they called me. He's like, "Where you at? I'm in Kansas City looking for you." Man, you don't get on my damn phone. I hung up the damn phone.
I need a challenge, baby.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of challenges, this team is the NFC East. We're leading. We're number 1 in the division right now.
It's up today.
And, I just thought it was really interesting, watching Sports Center.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Dallas.
That's life in the NFL. Right?
What about us, man?
What about the people that actually matter?
Low-hanging fruit, man.
Yeah. They talking about Dallas because they got treated so bad at home by the Saints.
Dude.
Derek Carr came in there and literally.
Saints came marching on, huh?
The Chase Young Saints
literally
went in there and beat them guys.
Dude, we talk about this offense a lot on this show.
Yeah.
But Kubiak, their new OC, was with Kyle last year.
Yeah.
I feel like everywhere that offense goes,
bro,
successful.
Right now, that offense is going to change the NFL.
First of all, it's half of the league.
Everybody team is running that offense. Some coordinator, some branch off one of them, that tree is coming. It's taking over the league.
But it's been cool to see how it's changed because they run a little bit more zone, but Kyle doesn't run that much zone anymore. Sean doesn't. It's more like
all of them got an evolution of their own.
And then you look at what they're doing in Miami.
But you see the pass game and you say, I know that.
Yeah,
I know that. I mean,
so which one to y'all? Because y'all both played in these offenses. Who has the better? Let's just take the sun out of it. Who has the better version of that offense? Is it McDaniels?
So I'm gonna be a little biased because I just like the fast break type style offense.
Miami.
I gotta say Miami.
Dude, Miami is
Miami's the best.
I say Miami. I mean, just the way he's doing it. Don't get me wrong. San Fran is
San Fran is the.
But they like the godfather of it.
That's why I say take out Shanahan.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, that's the cool thing.
Because McConnell gets no love in Minnesota.
And he's running it.
Dude,
and now you
that's a great point. I forgot.
You look at the quarterback, you like, hold on, isn't that the dude that saw ghosts?
Sam Donald, he's seeing living people now.
You know what's crazy though
he's seeing bombs over bad dad.
From this last week though, the best. I mean, obviously Sean, great. O'Connell did a great job. Matt LaFleur, dude.
We don't give him any love.
With Malik Willis.
Yes.
Malik Willis was 13 for 14 for 160 yards. No picks, no turnover where he plays.
And he got a ball with puke on it. Yeah.
That is true.
That was him puking. They said.
No, it was the center.
Oh, the center. Okay.
Dude, have you
Before
seen
he
the clip?
snapped the ball.
I didn't see it. I heard
No,
it.
He looks down and just throws up right on the ball.
And then snaps it to the quarterback. The quarterback catches the ball. And like, is this corn? Like, he don't know what to do with it. Because it's too slippery to throw.
But yeah, that offense is fun, man. I think, and it's not just the offense. It's to me how they prep it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the foundational pieces that Kyle teaches. Like, hey, let's learn the defense. Let's break rules through formation and motion and shifts. Like that's what makes it.
That
really
offense is one of those offenses that if you ever because I played in a lot, especially from dating back from early childhood to now. It's like the one offense that you didn't have to just learn. They give you the answers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All these other offenses I've been in, they like, well, learn the playbook. Learn the playbook. And you just got to run it. You're running against all different sorts of coverages that might not work. With this offense, it's always a logical we're going to do this because of this. You see what I'm saying? It's always an answer. So that's why I love it so much.
Well, what's going on with Sean McVay's version where all his players get hurt?
That's the crazy
what's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
That's tough because I was really into what Sean was doing, getting in 11 personnel, running like some base runs, like getting good matchups. Then all of a sudden, now like their whole O-line's hurt. Their Cooper Kupp's
hurt again.
And then
Puka Nacua
got hurt game one.
Come on, at one point, I have to say, every year we go through this with Sean McVay where these players get hurt.
Yeah.
And they for a long time of that tree were the best at managing injuries, and all of a sudden it just seems like it's caught up with them a little bit.
And then I think too, man, it's the wear and tear, man. They on turf. They're not on turf, are they?
Yeah,
they are. I thought they got changed.
I don't know if I'm like anti-turf. I don't know if I'm anti. The new turf. Have you been on the new turf? It's kind of nice, actually.
Well,
nothing's nicer than grass. What Jesus put on here. That dirt. It absorbs hits a lot more. Like the one thing I used to do when I was young, I used to love when I played football here. I just before practice, I'd get in the grass and just make butterflies. I love like playing in the dirt. Like ain't nothing softer than. Like me, as
I'm in it, and I love the turf because of being a receiver. It was fast, you know what I mean.
It's a fast track.
So if I'm fast, I'm just that much more faster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I loved it for that reason. But it's like the evolution of the athlete is almost going against what they do training wise. It's like all this stuff that they do, the pounding, the sticking, these cuts now. Wide receivers are trying to overemphasize. It seemed like it's hurting their limbs more so than it did us back in the day. And I think it's mostly because of what they do in the off season. I'm not necessarily sure it's just the turf itself. I think all the stuff that we're doing to our bodies. Bigger, faster, stronger. You know what I mean?
That's actually a really good take, Tim.
Most of these guys are made different now. And then you go out there and play on that surface, it's just not, compatible.
I just want the athlete to stop doing all these useless workout. Like I don't need to see nobody jump over no box no more. Stop jumping over boxes. All right.
Plyometrics are key though.
Yeah. Dude,
you want to know it. You want to know it because you wasn't fast.
No.
You didn't run the 4.2s.
No, that's good. But when I see these guys jumping over these 7 feet boxes, you're not doing that on the NFL.
Bro, I tell you this, you're not. But it's. You heard twitch muscles.
You want a nerdy answer right now?
Go ahead, give it to him.
You want a nerdy answer?
Logan,
give it to
Logan.
This is what I do. Right, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to train muscle contraction and this thing called like rate coding. So basically, your body operates on a thing called a size principle. So it takes the most inefficient muscle, it goes first, and then works to the big muscles. Right. So when you're doing jumps and sprints, your body says, I have to bypass some of those smaller muscles to get to the bigger muscles. And so with the plyometrics and the sprinting, that's where you get that reaction. Like with sprinting specifically, there's no activity that you can do, barbell, anything, that gets a higher rate of motor unit recruitment.
Humbug. You understand me? Humbug.
There you go.
No,
that's some nerdy stuff.
He won't know. He used to backpedaling with a cigarette in the mouth.
Let me get out of there.
He just played with us, but he was way before.
No, I was really supposed to play in the 70s. I was supposed to play with the 70s, most definitely.
Humbug. But you know what's crazy is I can do as much box jumps and sprinting as I want, and my muscles are like, hey man, this is it.
It benefited
this is
me.
It.
This is all I got.
I actually saw myself evolve like through college. Like when guys saw me in college, who had just saw me in high school, they was like, where the hell you come from? Like, how? And it was just the plyometrics. It was just the stuff we did. The prep. I was so I don't know if it was just I give all my credit to the damn scrim coaches, or it was just my body was made to do some of these things.
You are built aerodynamic.
I was genetically built to do it, but they allowed me to be confident in what I had. I didn't know I had that certain skill sets, and when you saw them in the game, and you saw them on tape, like they used to break down stuff like Tanner. You ran on reverse against that Boston College. I'm not sure if y'all ever saw the Boston College game. My last.
Stop all that lie. You know I.
So I run in reverse, and the guy hits my leg. You know how the corner getting blocked?
Yeah.
He's getting blocked to the ground, but he puts his arm out. He hits this leg. I'm full speed. I spin over and never touch the ground with this leg, and this leg is the first. And the coach like, you don't teach that. That's just. And I'm like,
bleep. Bleep, bleep.
No, but I
say this soft.
Yeah, real quiet. But yeah, I think like obviously I could train as much as I want, and I'm never gonna run a 4.2.
Yeah,
just because I'm
quick twist. See, I did ballet at Blair's Ballet Academy.
How old were you?
20s in my 20s.
Oh, like in college?
No. Here in the pros.
Oh, really?
I did ballet.
I did it in college.
Ballet.
Really?
Yeah.
4 years, right?
Yeah, ballet and boxing. That was my off-season stuff. Work my core, and then the ballet works on my balance,
yeah.
and to make sure I don't get no ankle injuries.
I bet. Did you lift weights at all, or was you just
No, he's not a weightlifter.
No.
But the crazy part about it, he wasn't one of those guys who got hurt.
No, I never got hurt.
I know.
But when we went in the locker room,
cigarette.
Tanner tell you, I'm in there working. I'm in there DJing.
It was the cigarettes and the yak. The dude had an old man body.
I just one of the people I always felt this. As you lift weights, I felt like you stiffen up.
Yeah.
I felt like stiff muscles tear.
Yeah.
I want to be elastic. I want to be the rubber band man, Stacey Augman. I want to be like I have been at the bottom of piles, and I have been twisted up all kind of ways, and I just pop back up. Abracadabra.
All right. Jason's telling me I gotta let this go, but I really don't want to. I really want to tell you why you lift weights, but again, it's not that show.
Yeah. It's just smooth take, man.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying,
let him live.
the proof's in the pudding. I went 10 years and missed 3 games.
Because you're not tackling anybody.
I did tackle people, man.
I'm kidding.
Hater.
Business decisions.
I thought Jason was the hater on this show.
He'll be hating here in a little bit. All right. So, hey, let's do a quick review of the New York Giants because after we talked about speed, we got a lot done there in that intro, man. Speed, college review, how cool Tana is.
Yeah, ballet.
You smoking cigarettes, like the whole thing. So, but now let's talk about the Giants. So, obviously played the New York Giants. Really close game. 7 field goals. All that stuff's been talked to death. What do you guys? I'll start with Fred. High level take coming out of the game.
Well, I thought that we got over a giant hump. I was saying it all week. This was more mental than it was physical.
Was that a pun? Did you was that like a pun? Like a giant hump? Like a pump or whatever?
You like that?
Yeah,
I do.
Like that.
I got good wordplay. Yeah, we did. Like, so this was more than a physical game for us. This was a mental game. Mm-hmm. Like for the whole franchise, for the fan base and everything. We just tired of losing to the Giants. Yeah. We're tired of losing to Daniel Jones. I have nightmares of losing to the Giants, and I remember just opening my eyes and looking across the field, and Michael Strahan and his 2 tusks just over there laughing and smiling, making me sick to my stomach. So to beat these guys, I thought was us looking into the future and saying, all right, this is the new Washington. And I can say this. Great vibes at Northwest Stadium.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
It wasn't no dark cloud over there. Just Northwest Stadium, the first play ever in Northwest Stadium was a 100-yard return. Yeah. They took out a kicker that ended up helping us win the game.
Our old kicker had that.
That's what I'm saying. Took him out. So, like, listen, the first win for Coach Quinn in Northwest Stadium. Northwest Stadium just got good vibes with it. That's all I'm saying. Good vibes.
Well, one of the things we know, it was something about the Giants with you all your career. Me too, but more so you. Yeah. We just had this story. Bluefoot talked about we just played the Giants, and 2 weeks later, you like, look how big they is.
The excellent Giants.
Mexico 6 feet. Yeah. Strahan 6 feet.
Yeah,
so
we
just had that story. But going into the game, I spoke about what we all talked about ad nauseum throughout the week is just how these guys have our number. Yeah. But they didn't have Dan Quinn's number. Yeah. This is Dan Quinn's team. Yeah. So I wanted us to get over what we've done in the past. Yeah. You know, trust me, it's hard to do so.
Let that pass
especially
go.
With the fans, you know, talking about it, you know, sports media, you know, you name it. Everybody's talking about sports radio, rather. But Dan Quinn has had a successful record against those guys. So I was hoping that Dan Quinn brought that mojo here with him. And trust me, it was a hard-fought game. I didn't expect Daniel Jones to still look as good as he looked against us, as always. It's something about us. us.
Somebody us.
He gets
That's
up
his
for
comfort
us.
zone.
But at the end, it was a hard 14 victory.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought of. It was a hard 14 victory. One of the things that they talk about the most is ball is life, and the defense made the play to get that turnover. And that, to me, is what really gave us the chance to win that game.
Here go a fun stat. We have yet to punt in Northwest Field.
That's pretty wild.
That
Listen to me.
That was crazy.
Not one punt in Northwest Field.
I mean, the other crazy thing is like
Double Nichols was on the sideline the whole time watching it. Huh?
Listen, he was over there just chilling.
We every drive was a scoring drive except for the kneel before half. Like,
that's unbelievable.
Crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Crazy.
It was a scoring drive, and we still didn't score a touchdown. Like, this was an unbelievable game. Like,
but it was a fun game too.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
I've watched a lot of games in that stadium since I've been retired, and from the seat that I'm in, I'm always in the Legend Suite.
Yeah.
And it gets to the point sometimes you like, man, here we go.
We just started eating fruit.
I stood up the whole entire game. Like, I didn't want to sit because it was one of those games like you're like, bro, every series we in scoring drive. We have we in scoring territory. We in the red zone every series. And it had me believing like, bro, can they just stop shooting themselves in the foot because they can literally take over this game, they just score a touchdown.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think, for me it was just you guys talked about the adversity, kind of overcoming all this stuff. It was like a win's a win.
Yeah.
A win is a win. And it wasn't the prettiest win, but I think it's always better to get that W and then make the corrections after. Like, hey, we got some issues.
That's the best thing for a coach. Yeah. We won, but we know we ain't put the best effort for it. Like, they love those Mondays because then they can come in there, they can teach and preach. Yeah. And that's what you want to. And nobody feels like they on their high horse. Like, if we go out there and beat somebody 41-10, we took it to them. We deserve a couple pats on the back. But getting out of there by the skin of your teeth, nah, you don't feel that way.
Games like that also bring the team together. We saw that we can overcome adversity and get a W together for the first time. See, what we felt, we don't fail to realize this, but what a lot of these fans fail to realize, because you hear it. I heard it on your show. Harriman got in my car and turned you on because I wanted to hear it. Like, that one guy got in there and talked about all this. Oh, he running there. He need to slide and he need a friend. Like, no. You hear me? No. But what they fail to realize is, bro, let us play football. All that stuff you're talking about, you're a fan. Stay in your place. Yeah. But at the same time, as a team, these guys, it's still fresh. This is week 2 for a complete new team, recalibrated team. Yeah. Like, these guys don't know how to really play together, and the only way they're gonna learn by reps,
trial and error.
And I'd rather those reps come in victories because then we can go and make. So I think we had a lot of corrections from Tampa Bay. This week with the Giants, we'll have corrections from here to Cincinnati. And I think as long as we keep improving, because I saw a better product from a lot of guys this week than I did last week or the week prior. So can't wait to see what Cincinnati looks like.
Does that Tampa loss feel different now that you see that Tampa go on the road and do what they did in Detroit? And
Tampa's good.
And we played them close, and I kept saying it all week, like, hey, these dudes got a star on every level of their team. Offensive line, star. They got a quarterback. They got a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Defensive line, star. They got a star at the linebacker. They got a star in the defensive backfield. This is a legit team right here.
I mean, it's week 2, so everyone's going to overreact to it. But I seeing the team in person, like watching it from the sideline, I was like, this team's good.
I know we probably don't get caught up in the quarterback hypes and all that stuff, but it's good to see Baker Mayfield having fun.
Baker, the touchdown. Because
I feel like his name his name alone came in with so much to where it's good to see him on a good side instead of then it's just talking about him not living up to it.
Have you played with an athlete that don't do good when they on the high horse? They only do good when they back against the wall. Because Baker is an underdog.
He seems the first guy that I've ever seen in that situation. Like him and Russell Westbrook, they seem like them. They seem like they the guys. You
tell them they can't do something, and you rip something from them. That's when you get your best. So I think Baker is basically a hired gun. Like, once you say Baker, you can't do it, he proves you wrong.
Yeah, 100%. But to help us kind of review and recap this game, we brought a special guest in. Some of you guys know him. Hater Jason. What's up, Hater?
Get that hate in your heart. Get it out. Let it out. Let that hate out.
There you go. Where's SpongeBob?
I just don't understand why pirates are haters. Like, I don't.
It's a good bit, for sure. All right, Hater Jason, how you doing? How'd you feel about the game?
I'm not doing great.
Okay, not great.
I hear you all say a win's a win. But it was ugly.
It was ugly.
It was too ugly for me.
Okay.
Ugly people need love too.
I want domination. And I heard what Fred said. I don't care. Jaden hasn't thrown for a touchdown yet. That's not good. And he runs way too much. And and he won't slide. He's going to get hurt. I don't care what you say. He needs to slide. I'm not optimistic.
I hate you, Jason, for this. I hate you back because at the end of the day, no quarterback, a rookie quarterback, has thrown a touchdown this year.
That's true.
Yep.
No, Caleb haven't threw one. Bo Nix haven't threw none. Yeah. So at the end of the day, our guy scores in different ways. Our guy can get things done in different ways. Yeah. So what you want him to do, Hater Jason? Force it to Terry 55 times and get picked off? Did you know our guy has no turnovers? Did you know our guy looks the best out of every rookie in the league right now? We don't care how he gets the job done. Get the job done.
And it's not even about getting the job done. It's just about, having a chance to win. Who puts something on how you do it. Yeah. Look, when you look at that win-loss column, it doesn't say Jaden Daniels threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It say
W. You see what I'm saying? Or L. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you're a guy, when you really look at the whole thick of things when it comes to these young quarterbacks right now, no one said it's going to be easy out the gate.
It ain't going to be.
They've all said that hopefully one of these guys make it out of this class that show us a little promise. And right now, I know it's early,
but it looked like our guy.
It looked like our guy showing more promise. And yes, it might be with just his legs at times. But hey, he's thrown enough passes to show us that, man, if you get caught slipping out there, he'll make you pay. So
Hater, I mean, obviously, like, we want him to throw touchdown passes and we want him to protect himself when he's running the football. But I think when you look at his development over the last 2 weeks, you say, hey, man, last week, some areas to improve. Yeah. This week, I thought started sluggish, but in the second half, man, he looked like he was on
like a pro quarterback.
Attacking the middle level of the defense, right? Really anticipating throws, great release.
How about that dime to Noah Brown?
Bro, you must be reading my mind. I'm like, might found our number 2 receiver too. Noah Brown.
One of the Brown brothers.
Yeah, and so then in conjunction with that, I think the ability to scramble is such an underrated skill set for a quarterback. Yeah. And the reason this is because you're able to steal first downs, right? So if it's 3rd and 10, there was 2 3rd and longs in this game. I think one was a 3rd and 12. He scrambled 10 yards. They got us to a 4th and 1 that B-Rob's able to convert, right? Yeah. Then they scrambled for another one where he hurt his ribs. Obviously got kind of the wind knocked out of him. But that's keeping you on the field. That's flipping field position. Because on both of those, like, there wasn't anybody open. Great job understanding I got to get the first down. And it just brings the floor of your offense up. So, again, we don't want him taking too many shots. Yeah. But I do think he's also been aware of that, right? I think he's only kind of gone for it when it's like a critical situation. We're going for it on touchdowns. We're going it for first downs. And other than that, I feel like he's been pretty good about not taking big hits.
So we all agree, win by any means necessary.
Any means necessary.
I once did a cross-country thing, and I ran it in 47 minutes. I cheated. I couldn't always cross the lane.
I'm sure you did.
Everybody else came in 2 hours and 30 minutes. And guess what? By any means necessary.
What? Typical for How did they not? They must have known.
No, they did. When I made it to the line, they were like, what are you doing? I was like, oof, I'm so exhausted. They're like, no, you're a cheater. I'm like, oh, how dare you? They're like, nobody has ever finished this course in 47 minutes.
But again, so Hater, we understand that we want him to throw touchdowns, but I do think you're seeing growth. I think you're seeing his athleticism. I think you're seeing how it elevates the floor of the offense, and it's gonna buy you some time until he's really dealing from back there and feeling really comfortable.
And nobody's telling Lamar Jackson to slide, so get off of telling our guy to slide just because he a couple of pounds lighter. I hate that they tried to tell you what to do. This man played football this way all his life. At the end of the day, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's how I look at it.
Let him do his thing.
Hater, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, what about the defense?
Yeah, what about the defense?
What about him?
What about him? Yeah.
Well, why aren't we getting sacks? What's up with the defensive tackles not making the plays? That's what I'm seeing. Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong. You're wrong. It's all 11 to the ball, first of all. Yeah. We left 5 sacks in Tampa on the field.
So, before you continue, so our pressure rate in Tampa was 66.5%, which is
top
insane. And obviously this week it's 33% back to earth a little bit, but I think when you watch what Joe Wood Jr. did last in terms of week 1 versus Tampa Bay, Tampa was much more aggressive pushing the football down the field, right? Much more aggressive trying to throw the football. He also was able to bring more pressures, ensure one-on-ones, and get after a little bit more. I think when you look at the game plan for the Giants, they were like, we can't be giving up 66% pressure rate. So they did a lot of max pros, they did a lot of play action pass, did a lot of quick game, and that's going to make it hard to rush the passer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, quite frankly.
I mean,
I agree.
You said a mouthful. I don't need to come back on that one.
Also, they did a lot of Max Pro. All right, let's be honest. And when you do a lot of Max Pro, that means out of the 4 defensive linemen, I could double team 3.
Yeah.
All right, so at the end of the day, with 2-man routes, that allows you to get deeper down the field, and that negates sacks.
Yeah.
Then you mix that in with a quarterback that runs and has fun and on our field for some reason, and that'll lower your sack rate.
I was going to say, I think that was the other thing that showed up a little. I felt like they were Joe Jr. or the defensive line in general was a little bit more conservative rushing the passer. They were trying to be more aware about keeping them
sugar
in.
rush is what we call it. Sugar rush. Rush up the field, but don't turn the corner.
Yeah. And again, I think that's also part of it. But again, I go back to our original point. Like, what is more important, like the defensive line dominating or winning the football game?
Yeah.
And I do think stylistically, Joe Wood Jr. played a little bit like softer, more conservative coverage structures that allows for double teams up front, a little bit better in the run game. When you look at it from a schematic standpoint, you say, to me, it makes sense.
Nobody cares about style points. Style points only work in wrestling, and wrestling is fake.
Yeah.
All right? And it broke my heart when I found out it was fake.
Stop it, dude.
Jimmy Stupefied Snooker.
Hey,
oh, my gosh.
It broke my heart. It didn't break y'all heart to find out wrestling was fake?
Nah, I know it was fake from the get-go.
Yeah, my dad told me like day one.
All that.
He's an astronaut. He probably did tell you.
He was like,
my family let me just sit there. Did you see that? Andre the Giant do that for real? Yes, son. You idiot.
this little pat on the head. Yes.
He gonna be all right. Why you got that helmet on?
Hater Jason, what else you mad about?
What you gonna do when Hater Jason comes for you? And I'm coming for the secondary. It looks like the same old secondary. What is going on, Fred?
8 quarters of football you saw under Joe Witt's defense. 8 quarters, maybe 130 plays, and you're nagging. Get this, like I said on my post-game show, let grandmama cook. Like, when grandmama cook, it take time.
I told you my dad listened to your post-game show, and he was like, Fred was talking a lot about cooking on his show. And I was like, what did he say? Something about grandma taking your time? And I was
let grandma cook, because everybody is so impatient right now and up in the world. Why ain't everything perfect now? Because they've been here 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, at what point do you think a new GM, new ownership, new head coach had anything to do with the last 25 years? Like, if y'all want to blame that on some guys, blame Santana Moss, Logan Moss, and Fred Smoot. Other than that, these guys have nothing to do. They are not on our clock.
Yeah.
All right? Their clock started 6 months ago.
Yeah.
All right? But the fan base is so, why ain't this perfect? Why ain't this perfect? Why ain't this perfect? Ain't y'all the same guys that hated on the offensive line and they holding up to me?
Yeah.
All right? The same guys. Because they think when you don't address something with a big name, that means you didn't address it. I'm sorry. Ain't no big names on the street right now.
I think the one thing that stand out the most too, especially when you're watching this defense in the secondary, specifically, they're improving. You know what I mean? Trust me. Just like I talked about for the team as a whole, they got to learn to gel. They got to learn to communicate. They got to learn that these different looks are going to be every week until we stop. And I saw some of the similar looks that I saw in week 1 that they got beat again in week 2, but then you saw instantly Joe Witt changing. I say, man, if I'm not sitting here watching what Fred been talking about, boxing that bunch, I saw the box come in the second half because they got beat, burned by in the first half for a touchdown by Neighbors. I saw the secondary, telling each other different things that I didn't see week 1. So to me, regardless of who you are as an individual, if you coach well, eventually they start showing up. We don't want to call names. We don't call names, but I saw one guy in particular who had a rough outing week 1, and he came to play week 2. So as long as I'm seeing growth from those guys, I'm okay, because we know in this league, every year it's not going to be your year. You're going to have those up and down roller coaster seasons, but as long as you can learn from your mistakes and show me improvement, hey, say less. I'm all about it.
We in a fantasy world that want fantasy output. Right?
Yeah.
That's what
they want numbers.
They want numbers. All right. Well,
Just like followers.
We don't care about your fantasy while we out there playing.
Yeah.
We don't care about your league. We don't care about your team. We're trying to win. And if I'm a receiver and I win and I got 1 catch with 9 yards, so be it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know who you were talking about, Tanner, but I watched Benjamin St. Juste in this game. I watched Benjamin St. Juste week 1, and I think that guy's playing significantly better.
Yeah.
And that's what the coaches are bringing. They're bringing that mentality. They're bringing that approach. They're giving him the detail, the structure. So I say as they get more reps, more time on task. Like you're saying, Tana, we see different looks. We can communicate different looks. We understand how to play with each other. Because think about it. We got Sanders still's a rookie. St. Juice is probably the most senior person there.
He is.
Forbes, young player. We got guys coming from all over. Mike Davis, Big Benogany. Jeremy Chin was kind of up and down.
Quan is only his second year.
Right.
In first year at this position full time.
Yeah,
this is the first time Quan Morton get to focus on one position.
Safety,
And we're not making excuses. I think we're just trying to provide context. Like we've played football a lot, and I know like young players like lose your games. And it's not because they're not trying, it's because they just don't know.
And it's not because they're not talented. It's just that this league will take you by storm
and
very
so
quickly.
Every week, as long as they're getting a little bit better, the communications is improving, they understand the looks they're going to get, they're going to get there. Because again, I go back to this, and this is the thing that helps me sleep at night. I trust Joe Witt Jr. I trust Dan Quinn. I look at what they did in Dallas, and I say they're going to be able to, with I think in some cases less talented players, be able to get the same thing done here. So that's what I would say to Hater Jason. Are you done? You done hating? Are we good?
Yeah.
You know he ain't.
You softened my heart.
That's good. Well, we did our job.
Bring it back down to earth.
We are the NFC East leaders right now.
Yeah.
What am I upset about?
Well, I'm upset that they still talking about the Cowboys disappointing outing against the Saints. Are they talking about what happened to the Eagles? Thank you, Kirk Cousins.
Thank you, Kirk.
Dude, how about
Captain
that?
Kirk.
Oh, man, that was an interesting end of game scenario there for everybody.
But if you look at what's going on, we're 1-0 in the division. We're gonna take it 1 week at a time. We know who the division is. We know what we got. And guess what? Applaud the team for being number one in the NFC East. I don't think we've been this in 2-3 years.
It's early too, and so you don't want to get ahead of yourself. But at the same time,
it's just nice.
It's nice to be acknowledged. We acknowledge ourselves for being where we at because we understand no one's going to give you no credit.
So let's see if we can continue, improving. And we got the Cincinnati Bengals come up here on Monday Night Football.
We ain't scared to go to the jungle.
We're not scared. They're 0-2 right now. They're having a tough go. Real quick, let's talk about Monday Night Football. Any good experiences? What's it like playing on Monday night?
I had great experiences on Monday night. Now I had some terrible ones also. I never forget when we took out Ben Roethlisberger and I'm like, we finna eat. Brian Leftwich in the game. Brian Leftwich threw for 300 on us. I've had good days. I had bad days. But Monday night, the only thing I hate about Monday night is just sitting in that room all day long. But to be the only show,
it's cool.
That's how you get your name out there.
Yeah. It is
it's cool. I mean, teach his own. I'm not a big Monday night fan. I've had some games. I had one of the games in Monday night up here. My first year here, week 2. So I kind of give that game the credit for creating the Cowboy killer, I guess you can say. And
you actually hate that game because you be like, I did other things, right?
Yeah. But at the same time,
was that the game? Was it your first year here? The Cowboy Killer game was.
That was my second game of the season. That was week 2. First year. But also, I hate it for the simple fact that we didn't do anything that game until those last two
drive.
So as a player, 60 minutes, bro. You don't take a snippet. I mean, that's like watching a highlight and say, "Oh, he bombed you." Yeah. But you locked him down the whole game. You see what I'm saying? Like you gonna always.
That's the life of a DB.
We understand that. Yep. So that's why I always be like, "Hey, I appreciate it because it actually did create what the buzz was about me that year, and I took off from there."
What's Newman to you, your best competitive fight is somebody that could check you?
I speak of it all the time. I say people don't put Terrence Newman out there with some of the better DBs. And to me, that's one of my favorite DBs that I went against. One of the hardest, but also my favorite because he had it was nothing he couldn't do. Yeah, he had the reach. He had the wingspan.
Coming out of cuts.
He was smart. You know what I mean? He played long. Yeah. He was quiet. So I guess when you a quiet DB, it's like I'm the quiet receiver. We don't get that.
You don't get fed.
Yeah, you don't get that acknowledgement. But I would be always the guy that's going to always lift that dude up. I think he's one of the best that I lead that acknowledge. But getting back to the Monday night thing, I just hated playing Monday night. I mean, you're in the hotel for nothing all damn day.
All day.
You sitting out there, you finally get out there, and then not to have, a lot of great experiences on Monday night. Yeah, it made that experience that bad. You know what I mean? It made it bad for me. Just like, man, probably out of all the Monday nights, I don't know. We have to look. Out of 14 years, I probably won twice, 2 or 3 times on Monday night. So when I saw Monday nights, I was like, shh. Can we hear it fast forward?
Yeah. Let's get to Sunday.
Yeah, so
it is cool doing the Monday night thing. It is a pain in the butt being in the hotel all day, but seeing all the the production trucks out there and the people that do Monday Night Football, it kind of, there's a pageantry to it that's exciting, and like you said, it's a good opportunity to get your name out there, and hopefully we're ready to go for this opportunity. Let's start previewing the Cincinnati Bengals real quick. Their defense is kind of at the reputation of struggling, but like when I watch them, I don't see them struggling really. I think they're actually a pretty good group. Lou Anarumu is the defensive coordinator, and
who's damn good.
He does some really good stuff. Just if you need some context, a couple years ago in the Super Bowl, he's the guy that played all that drop 8 coverage versus Kansas City. And they ended up winning the Super Bowl because of that. So he's a guy that's pretty innovative. He's pretty aggressive on first down, bringing nickel pressures and stuff. And I feel like he's good at picking kind of a game plan defense
for certain players. He understands how to get people off their spot.
So if you were Cliff and you kind of saw this, because again, we'll talk personnel here in a second, but that chess match between him and Cliff, you know what I'm saying? Anarumu and Cliff.
Anarumu, all you have to do to he don't like people to get outside of the structure of the box. So I would do a lot of waggles and a lot of bootleg because it breaks his defense down. Like the one thing about zone, if you ever want to break zone down, get the quarterback outside the pocket and and just give him seconds. And we're going to fold and we're going to break somewhere.
Just knowing how successful we've been in the run game, just seeing some of the things I saw early in the film, Kansas City against Cincy. What is his name? Pacheco?
He ran downhill.
Running downhill.
Dude, also
he that 5-6 a pop. So
the Steele, the guy from UCLA, the white running back fullback guy.
That kid too.
Both of them, they kind of run the same. They run the same.
Man. So that was promising, seeing that and just knowing what we bring. But what we've been talking about, the last 2 weeks about our team. Eventually, this is going to open up our pass. People fail to realize. You sit here, see all these spread offenses. Man, I'm all fine and dandy with that. But as a receiver, for 14 years in this league, as a receiver, I've always credited the run game that allowed me to have those favorable matchups.
It makes the windows big.
And especially when you don't have the elite quarterback play that I've had. I can't say these guys wasn't elite. In my mind, they was my quarterback. But as far as when it comes to numbers and compared to other guys, right now, I feel like we have a guy with potential to be that guy. If he start catching on and see this stuff because we running the ball well behind B-Rob and Eckler, man, this imagine how you're going to get a guy streaking down the field. Or when he start seeing them, bringing those safeties down to help out. Now I'm getting that matchup where I can just go ahead and use my arm. So, man, I can't wait to see that.
I'm really glad you brought that up, Tana, because one of the things about Cincinnati, when you watch them, they played New England week 1, and New England kind of ran the ball really physical on them. And the reason is they're not. They've invested all this money in they've invested all this money in the offense. So they have Trey Hendrickson, who's a really good football player.
Three tight ends as gangsters,
But and then they got Sam Hubbard on the other end, and those guys are pretty good football players.
Real good ends.
They lost their good interior defensive tackle. I think he's with Detroit now. But Sheldon Rankins is their starter. He's hurt. B.J. Hill is also hurt. So they're playing 2 backup guys on the interior. Jay Tueful, and then Zach Carter. But those guys really struggled against Kansas City. So, again, a soft interior, I'm going to try and get after him.
Rookie quarterback on the road, Monday night, hand the ball off. Hand the ball off until they show me they can stop it.
And then, not to cut you off, but what we talked about last week, Giants not going to show much of the blitz package, but what we saw, they were bringing it. They bringing outside guys.
Selectively,
Selectively, it wasn't a lot of it, but it was enough to get our guy move off his spot enough. So you just know coming into this game, they're going to say, look, until he shows us that he can take this or hit the open guy, we're going to do it because we want him to use his legs. We want him to be in that, that situation where he have to run.
Rob to lean on him. Listen to me. Y'all just keep.
Eventually, they're going to do
I have been taking my toes of, I watch B-Rob run, and the next thing I watch when he hit the ground is who running off to the sideline.
Off to the sideline. Yeah,
he averages 3 guys a game.
He punishing people.
3 guys a game. He took McCullum out, the cornerback for Tampa, on the first drive. This dude
he punishing.
a lot of B-Rob, a lot of Eckler.
Well, shit, Eckler too, man.
Yeah, a lot of Eckler.
He's a little bowling ball.
That's what I'm saying. So they look at him as speed, but come on, he's one of the strongest dudes on the team.
He's bouncing off dudes, man, and carrying guys. So
yeah, and I was gonna say the other thing is it'll look a little different, I think, for our offense than it did for New England. Like they got in 13 personnel, they're bringing extra old linemen in there, like let's get after them. And I think Cliff has done a really good job, and we didn't talk about this in our review, of spreading guys out to run the ball. Because when you spread them out, like there was a great play, and I think it was in the second quarter, where they got in kind of like almost an empty set. Austin Eckler's like lined up over the tackle, so it looks like a passing strength, like a 4x1 almost. And the linebacker was plussed way out. So if you look at the end zone copy, there's literally no linebacker
in the middle
in the shot. So when you hand it off to him, that linebacker is rallying from a bad angle to make the tackle. And I will say Austin has really impressed me with his ability to make people miss in the short area, just a one cut. And again, the lower body strength. So it's not going to look like New England did it, but it's going to be super effective. And as you move back, though, in this defense, obviously defensive line, Trey Hendrickson, absolute monster. 33% pressure rate. Like we got to make sure we account for him. But as you move back, you've got Logan Wilson, Akeem Davis is another linebacker there, and they've got a pretty good second level of the defense. And so I look at
them guys fly around.
How do you kind of account them? How do you put those guys in conflict, because they are aggressive to the football?
And
what I love the fact that we got both our running backs on the field at the same time. I think that alone is going to cause some guys to get
mixed up on their job,
mixed matches, and then now when you start implementing that, okay, I saw a lot of getting Eckler out of the way, handing the ball to B-Rob, but what if they switch it up and now, change the jobs up? Now you got Eckler getting the ball, B-Rob is open, because you think about it, guys are going to try to find out how can we manage what they're doing offensively in the run game. I'm pretty sure already with 2 weeks looking at what we're doing, okay, this is where their strength is at. What can we do with these guys to manage this? Eventually you're gonna get a full dose of that, and now how can you counter it? I'm talking about us. How can we counter it? Now we get those chances to say, now we can use Terry. Now we can see Terry. Now we don't have to worry about getting
a big old one
screen
out there for Terry.
Yeah, so Terry getting all this doggone cloud coverage because he's an ex-receiver at times, and you're like, man, this is why he got to do a slip screen, because he ain't getting nothing where he can just run freely down the field. So
bring those two backs on the field, and when they come on there, the defense we always automatically run alert. Usually my defensive coordinator is gonna call a run stopping defense. When you get these guys on the field, draw and screen. All right, I think those are the most effective two things to do, especially when we go automatic run defense. Do that and make these guys, them ends, run sideways, and now you got them gaps.
We talk about this game being about, a matter of inches. Just think about that one play. I think Zakia's still running right now. If Jada don't ball that ball. He had to run with, because I know what he was going to do. He was going to catch it and just toss it to him. And when I say that left side of the field was really well wide, it was blocked to perfection. But he had to tuck the ball and get what he can. That's what I'm talking about, like stuff like that. So when you put it on tape, man, and then you saw we came back to it, and it wasn't as wide open. But we still got some, favorable yards out of it. But
yeah, absolutely. And so I think, like you brought this up too, Fred. I think this is the cool thing about having flexible personnel. If you're going to match us in base, run stopping, like I think Austin Eckler can beat a linebacker.
He can beat a safety
all day.
I think B-Rob can beat a linebacker. Zach Ertz has shown his ability to do that. So I think that's where the strength of this team is at the moment, is kind of with the interior guys, the Zach Ertz's, the two running backs. And so how do you create matchups for those guys in the run game and the pass game? And and to me, again, that I don't know how Cincinnati feels about their linebackers in coverage, and I think they're pretty good. But I would still probably take our athletes over their athletes, even though they're good football players.
No question.
Then as you move back, obviously you got Von Bell, Dax Hill, Cam Taylor Britt had a great pick in the Cincinnati game.
One-hand pick, it was sweet.
And again, like they're not getting a lot of love in the secondary, but I feel like they're
a good secondary.
They're matching stuff pretty well.
They're a good secondary,
so
and they grabby. They grabby, and they know how to. They know how to get the ball back. So I give them that. And but here goes the thing about it.
Does that affect how, if you're Cliff, if you're calling the game for Jaden, like knowing that those guys are back there, knowing that they're going to be in different coverage cells?
And the fact that Jaden going to have to deal with crowd noise. Jaden going to be on the road. Like I said, first Monday night game, I'm going to run so much. And then you got to realize, B. Otis don't get his props.
He's done a great job.
He played his behind off last week.
He has dogged Dexter Lawrence, ever since he's been playing at the Cowboys, look at the stats, him versus Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence has yet to get a sack while he's been in the center. I'm running right behind him.
Yeah. And Grady did a great job too. Sam Cosby did a great job.
I saw Wiley play well too, man. I was impressed, man. Those guys are really out there busting it behind.
I think that's the thing about this run scheme and the way that they're calling the game, or Cliff's calling the game, is you're going to deleverage those guys, and you want athletes in the run game. So Wiley's able to get out, cover guys up. You can pull them. You can do different stuff with that body type, and I think that's why they're so excited about Brandon Coleman.
Yeah,
because Cornelius Lucas has done a great job. He's played really, really good football, but he doesn't move as well. So imagine if we had another piece out there that can get out on a screen, and we don't have to always run that screen to the right, because Wiley can get out there. You know what I'm saying? We can get it to Brandon Coleman too. So that's something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I do think Cliff's going to have to be in his bag and have to be really patient, like he was against the Giants. And I really think game flow in this game is extremely important, because if the defense comes out, and we're going to talk about them in a second, if they come out and they give up a lot of points, we're going to have to throw the ball a lot. I don't think that's where we're, after watching 2 games of football, where we're at our best. I think
we have to control time of possession. We have to run the ball so much that play action is going to be wide open. In that play action, we might have to max protect and only send 2 people out.
I mean, I'm not really super worried about their pass rush outside of Trey Hendrickson, but let's make sure we give him his just due. But I think if we can run the football and play complementary football, defense plays well and kind of is able to keep everything in front of them and keep this to a relatively low-scoring game. I'm talking 27, 24 points. And we can kind of live in this game of like RPO, zone read, screen, dive, power kind of by the back and in the gun. I think we got a shot. It's just, it really comes down to the defense. So let's jump to them real quick. Obviously, that's where all the money is. You know what I'm saying? That's where everybody is excited. You got your Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. You got T. Higgins, who may not play.
Zach Moss is running the ball.
He's running the ball well. So if you're Joe Witt Jr., what is the approach here to slow them down?
I am going.
Higgins back right this week.
He might be.
I don't think he's going to be, but they do have Burton, Jermaine Burton.
He was a 3rd or 4th round draft pick from Alabama. He's got some
he can smoke
vertical juice.
He can smoke. I would actually come in here on early downs, trying to stop the run, but in passing situation, I'm going 2-man under against this team.
They were heavy. They was heavy with the tight ends last week. Man. In that first half.
Mike Gesicki
83, 88, and 89 was getting a heavy dose of opportunities, passes thrown their way. So
I'm really glad you brought those guys up, Tana, because I think to me that's the wild card here. Mike Gesicki's basically a receiver. Eric All is a physical dude he was from Iowa, rookie. Catches the ball well, has good vertical speed. They got Sample too, who's kind of their big blocking Y in there. And then they got Tanner Hudson, who's kind of their fullback. So they can get 4 tight ends on the field. And what I would say to you, Fred, is I want them to try and run the ball because they're bad at it. They're the worst team in the NFL.
But that's why I say I don't think they're going to do that, because they're going to look at us against Mike Evans, look at us against neighbors.
Well, they also saw your boy Singletary get some. He had a little.
But I don't think that ain't how they're built.
But because let's talk about their O-line real quick. So they have Trent Brown, who when he's on, he's one of the best offensive linemen in football. But
he's long in the tooth.
But he looks like he's about 40 pounds overweight. And like any kind of run stuff with a super big guy, he's 6'8", like 415. Like he's huge. He can't get stuff cut off. Right, the same way. Orlando Brown on the other side, same way. Huge guy. They can't run the ball super effectively. They don't look like they want to be there. So what I'm going to tell them is like, I'd much prefer the running back. I don't even care if he's averaging 4 yards a carry. I'm like, everything stays in front of us. We're going to bracket Jamar Chase.
And that's why I say 2-man
He's not going to beat us. Let's stay back there. Everything stays in front. If they get in bunches, we're going to pass it off. We're going to make you run. We're demanding that you run the ball. Because I trust Frankie Louva and Bobby Wagner to be in there to be able to handle light boxes and get after those guys. And again, I look at the guards that they have there, and I'm like, our guys should win that matchup. Again, I think the Giants did a good job of saying we're not going to let you win that matchup. But with Joe Burrow, like, they want him to touch the ball every time and have it in his hand. I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want it either.
I don't care if we got to play 5 safeties back there and we're all standing. Like, you are going to run this freaking ball.
Don't try Joe.
Yeah, make them one-dimensional. Like, that's what you have to do. Like, that's why I said, if you 2-man under anywhere that Jamar Chase goes, I could zone up the other side if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But him, I cannot let him, number one, I can't let him beat me.
I love to see Igbenogany. How you pronounce it?
Don't you say it.
Igbenogany.
Igbenogany. That's me. They're close. So good enough. Fans know who we're talking about.
I'm going to say IG. Hey, I love to see number 1 IG on him. Hey, I mean, one-on-one. I love to see it.
Number one-on-one.
Oh, one-on-one.
Yeah, go for him number 1.
One-on-one.
I know, but
I love to see IG on him though. But I think, as far as Chase, I'm talking about, like,
really?
The way he's played since I watched him with the Dolphins. I think it's with Dolphins a year ago. Since I've watched him in his league, it's something stood out about him. I don't know if it's the name on the back of the jersey, but even here, like, I watched them throw a flag on him last week.
I don't care about that.
Both of these guys patty caking, and he got his body twerked around there and knocked the ball down. But he was in perfect coverage. He had the perfect leverage on the wide receiver. And to me, by far, when it comes to just, you know, we talked about being a defensive back. It's more so not just playing because I'm a corner.
It's to have a plan against him.
Bingo. You need to know how to play within the confines of the coverage and your guy. Yeah. And a lot of times guys just get out there. I'm playing DB,
and I got to check all 10 routes.
He really has a sense of the game. He has got a sense nuance of who I'm playing, what coverage we in, and how I want to do this thing to benefit me. So I want to see him against one of their best, but at the same time, protect this guy. Don't just have him out there on the island by himself.
No, that's stupid.
I think you got to take Jamar Chase away. And, man, Joe Burrow can deal now.
No, trust me.
I've always been a Joe Burrow fan, but maybe the Eminem hair, Joe Burrow just don't work.
No, I mean, but he's playing well, I think. When you watch him, like, down to down, I think he struggled against New England, but I think when you saw him against Kansas City, like, he's throwing into tight windows. He throws with great anticipation. He understands coverage really well. And if I was them, I would be like, we're never running the ball because we're really bad at it. Yeah. I want him having control. But if I'm Joe Wood Jr., I'm like, let's invite them to run the ball as much as we can.
We got to tackle too, man.
Yeah, the best thing working for us now is the Cincinnati Bengals are cheap. Yeah. That's it. All right, you got a mad Jamar Chase out there. You got T. Higgins who vowed not to play till you pay me. Like, that's the best thing going for us right now.
Yeah. So I think that matchup, while on paper seems crazy, I think there is a way to be frustrating and disruptive, and especially if you're managing game flow offensively. Like, if we go out and score first, they're going to want to throw the ball over the yard, so we get into softer coverage structures, keep everything in front. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there is an avenue, but if they get out and they score 14 points, 14 unanswered, 10 unanswered,
now,
like, it changes game flow. Everything. We're going to be in a little bit of a tough.
And maybe this is a special teams game. Special teams won the last game. Yeah. Maybe this is a special teams game.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I do feel like when you watch the special teams film, that Coach Izzo has done a good job of getting those. Like, I feel like we're super prepared.
Tyler Owens
is a beast.
Might go to the Pro Bowl as a special team.
Did you see Tyler Owens go down there and lay that boom on somebody? I was the only one saw that.
No, listen, he might go to the Pro Bowl as a rookie, as a special team player. That's how good he is.
Yeah. He's doing a great job.
Bro, I don't know where they get this kid from, bro. But
no, he brought up the fact that his measurables were like. Unbelievable. I watched him run. I was like, who is that? Like, the dude hit his stride, and I was like, he's mowing grass. He's mowing grass.
To bring this full circle about fast twitch muscle fibers, he had a 12-2 broad jump. He had a 45-inch vertical. His arms are 34 inches long. He's 6'3". He's 220.
Yeah, he up there with me with a lot of them measures.
Oh, there you go.
I just ain't 6'3", man. Got a long wingspan.
You know, when I ran that 4.26, you know what I'm saying?
Like
I was speaking as I was Fred Smoot. I wasn't speaking as me.
All right, so I think we feel good about the preview.
Yeah. I do.
There's a path there to victory. It's small.
It's gonna be tough.
We're going against a playoff caliber team.
I'm gonna say
great measuring stick on Monday night, and can we get over another giant hump because we haven't did well on Monday night?
And the other point I wanted to bring up is their offense, at least so far, is pretty stagnant. You know, like there's certain offenses you're like, this guy's motioning, they're in a bunch, they shifted this.
No, they line up.
They line up, and you're like, okay, And we seem to be okay when teams do that. Now,
I just don't want to see Zach Moss getting, Willard and Dylan like we saw Singletary.
I don't care.
Like Logan is compelled to say, you know what?
As long as Joe Burrow is not throwing the ball, Zach Moss, you rush for 150.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So be it.
I don't care because I don't want him throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm with Logan on that. I do not want Joe Burrow Dylan because I don't see a way we can win if he is.
Like I've seen, I'm trying to think of the game I just watched recently. Oh God! Basically, it was like Tom Brady.
Was
or
it the game you was watching at the stoplight that made you late?
That's probably it. But basically, they were like, we're just gonna play cover 2, like Tampa 2.
Yeah,
we're gonna play drop 8 every time, and the opposing team was like, I guess we got to run the ball. And so, it was the Bills.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, we'll run the ball. And they're not, this was 2 years ago. They couldn't do it. And you took the ball out of your best player's hands.
Yeah.
And you were inefficient running the football. It's like, that's what I think.
That's how you had to beat a good quarterback.
That's what I think the game plan is.
And with your running game.
Yes.
So I'd rather Joe Burrow be watching the game with me.
Yeah, hanging out.
Yeah, just chilling.
Having some nachos or something.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so that leads us to the very popular, very fan supported segment, and I can't say this because you guys got the swag for it, Fred.
Yeah.
It's
hell yeah
and hell no.
That was really good.
Well, I did go to Mississippi State, and our thing is hell state, and then I came here. And it's hell. So I've been hailing all my life. I'm a hellion.
Hailing. Okay, so let's start.
You was a hell of a mother.
Let's start. The defense will have 3+ sacks.
Okay, last time we played Burrow, we took him out. Chase Young took him out.
Yeah.
I would go, hell yeah, we're going to get 3 sacks. Because you got to have that game.
Yeah.
We haven't had that game yet.
Yeah.
Where Payne gets off, where Allen gets off. Cleveland Farrell he literally got a sack in each game.
Yeah.
We know Payne going to get
He's done a good
one
job,
soon.
actually.
Yeah.
We know Allen going to get one soon. And I'm going to go out the limb and say Frankie Louvu gets one. So there go 3 sacks right there.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
You hell yeah guy?
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like, oh, you guys are homers. But when you watch, again, I mentioned my guy Trent Brown. I played with him in San Fran. Again, one of the physically most gifted guys. He does not care. He gave up a sack in the New England game where it's like the guy did an inside move and he just literally, I'm not kidding, Fred, just stood and just watched him hit the quarterback.
Yeah.
And then just walk to the sideline. He is out to lunch. So if you get that version of him, you'll be able to get some pressures. The offensive line interior, I think they're okay, right? And then Orlando Brown is a good player, but not a great player, not a great anchor. Yeah. And so, again, if you can force Joe Burrow just to give me a pat, I don't think that group is they're not Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is a speed rush-in game, so I wouldn't be shocked if Jamie Davis got a sack. Yeah. This is a game that I think he could be very effective.
So if they come out and they pressure the way that they pressured against Tampa Bay, I'm going to say hell yeah. And I don't think, and I know sometimes that's ridiculous, but I think if you can get them to pad it a little bit, get them a little unsettled.
And for the most part,
might be a Daron Payne and
Burrow is a
non-running
quarterback, so you know as a rusher where he's going to be.
He got to step up and step out. So.
And he does make plays with his legs.
Yeah, he does.
But it's not what he wants to do.
I'm going to say, but it's not Lamar Jackson.
I just had to say that because there's somebody in the comments going, "What are you talking about? He rushed for 40 yards last week." It's like, yeah, I got you. He does run the ball, but it's not
no, them panic runs.
That ain't what he want to do.
Yeah, that ain't what he want to do. Okay, B-Rob and Eckler will combine for 175 total yards. Jason, how many did they have this week? Do you know off the top of your head?
200. We had 200.
They had
200 plus.
They had 200 plus together.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Receiving and catching, and rushing, they had 200 plus. I'm going to go yes, because Eckler has the ability to catch, so does B-Rob. And I got a feeling with our rookie quarterback, we're not going to put this game in his hand. Yeah. We're going to put it in those two guys' hands offensively. Yes. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
If I'm Lou Anarumo, though, I'm I want Jaden to have to beat us from the pocket.
Yeah.
So how do I do that? I got to stop the run. So I think it'll be tough sledding. And again, I think Cliff's done a really excellent job of
figuring out ways,
putting you in good formations to be you can't play both. You got to be right here. So if Cliff calls the game like he did last week, I'm going to say hell yeah. But if I'm Lou Anarumo, I'm like hell no. So it's going to be tough. But I think obviously they're catching the football well. They're going to be involved in the pass game.
Yeah. Go ahead and stop the run. We can just do a screen.
Yeah. I'm going to say hell yeah.
Dink and dunk.
Hell yeah for me too.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
All right. Jamar Chase will have less than 100 yards. He has not had 100 yards this season.
Hell no. To the no.
So you think you gonna have 100?
Hell yeah. I just one of those games, man. I mean, he's one of those guys that gonna say, oh, we can get active with you against these dudes. You know what I mean?
But it's just too glaring. Like, I can see if T. Higgins was on the other side. But I think Joe Witt is gonna go in here and say, not him. Not him. Not today.
We said that about Mike Evans and
I understand, but Godwin.
They got other pieces, right? They got McClellan, they got Godwin. But okay, these are the receivers, Tanner. Okay, so they got Jamar Chase, Andre Yosivas. You know where he went to school? Princeton.
Africa?
Princeton.
So
he scored 2 touchdowns last week, right? Mm-hmm. And again, but not like a dynamic. Like he's growing into the T. Higgins role, right? Jermaine Burton, explosive play threat.
Yeah, he can get down the field.
And then like a bunch of tight ends.
Yeah, bunch of tight ends.
So
take this one out.
I'm saying if there's a guy that I don't want beating us,
it's him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I'm going to do the, like, remember how Calvin Johnson used to get the punt return coverage?
No, he get the double guys out there, 2 corners, come on over here.
We're just going to double vice that guy.
Same way they did me in high school state championship game.
We got to look at that film.
I am going to, I think it's going to be hard either way, even if you're vice.
I feel you. We always get the same memo. Don't let this guy beat us. But for some odd reason, it don't transfer.
We can't. We can't. We say we're not looking in the rearview mirror.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
We're not.
But you asking me a question.
We're not.
I ain't looking in the past, but I'm talking about the guy himself.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I'm going HN. Hell no, he don't get it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah. I'm going. I just know Coach Witt, and Coach Witt going not after what Mike Evans did. He's not going to let that happen.
They actually would he have less then, though? Huh? Hell, would he have less than 100? You saying hell no?
Yeah, I'm saying he get the 99 and a half. I'm talking about a half-yard short.
Yeah, because Kansas City, man, they're excellent in the secondary. New England did an excellent job with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to say hell no. I think, I'm going to say hell yeah. I think, wait, he gets it? What are we doing?
No. Will he get 100? Are you saying hell yes or hell no?
Yeah, I'm going to say hell no. I think he gets. I think he gets
to ride with your boy.
I think he gets 100. I think he gets 100.
You do? Wait not to ride with your boy.
Jason, I messed it up?
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Messed it up big time.
Will Jamar Chase have less than 100 yards?
Yeah.
And I said, I should be saying hell yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yes, he'll have less than 100.
I said it right.
You should be saying hell no.
All
right,
I said hell no.
Come on, man. Yeah,
I'm the only one that was woke.
Everyone was shaking their head at me. I was right.
Yeah,
I didn't know I was right, but all right. Jaden Daniels will get his first TD pass.
Hell yes. 3 is the number.
If you don't say hell yes, you ain't with us. Hell yes.
All I'm saying is the third one is the charm.
Yeah.
The third one is the charm.
It's not even the third one. It's Monday Night Football. This is when stars are made. He's a star, bright star. And he's going to show us. Can
you imagine if he comes out and just balls?
For the touchdown?
Yeah. Who catches his first ever touchdown?
I'm going to go B-Rob or Eckler, one of the two.
Like
so you go on the running back.
So we can't. I can't take this.
This say the same thing.
What you gonna say, Zacchaeus?
No, I was gonna say
Noah Brown.
I was gonna say no. I was gonna say B-Rob or Austin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I'll say Noah Brown. Jason, what do you got?
What about Terry?
That's too obvious. Yeah. That's low-hanging fruit.
I think we put that out there last week that it was his birthday. He's going to get the ball. And guess what they said? Blanket. that's Michael Jackson's son. Blanket.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm going Ertz. He going to running back. You going Noah Brown.
Yeah, I'll take Terry. I mean, big-time players make big-time plays and big-time games, right, Tim?
Somebody said it.
I hope this is the first time we get to see
Somebody also said, 3/4 of the world is covered by water.
Oh, and the other half is smoot.
I like how he looked directly into the camera.
Look at him.
How do we always end up talking about Fred?
Because you always it's so offensively biased on this show, and I'm the only defensive guy.
You the loudest mouth, so we gotta talk about the offense. You're gonna let it be known regardless, All
right. So I'm actually, after doing this preview show, pretty excited for this game. I think there is an opportunity. It'll be tight. There's an opportunity to win the game, and hope for just a really good performance from this team.
Well, y'all know me, man. I'm very optimistic about us as an organization going forward, but I don't have a lot of, I guess you can say,
rah about this
water in the jug when it comes to what I'm trying to see every week. I just want to see these guys grow as a team.
I just want to grow.
Water in the jug?
Yeah, my jug ain't full.
Like you
I don't have a lot
you
of
go
Like
Jack and Jill.
expectations? Expectations?
bingo.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
Jack and Jill
okay.
went up the hill with a pail of water.
I ain't.
I like that.
My jug ain't that full when it comes to the instant gratification of wins.
Sure.
And
That's funny.
I
You
just
brought
want
a jug up. I used to play a jug when I was a part of a band.
That is no way that's true.
No, you blow across that
No,
thing.
yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, no way that's true.
I thought you were beating on the jug with quarters in it.
No, I did it in the church choir.
No way.
I used to play the jug.
No, I don't believe you.
Well, he from Mississippi now. I'm pretty sure they had all kinds
What
of
are they
instruments
going to mic it up? They got a mic set up and Fred's out there like
So you never
No, they were Fred
you
with
never
them.
see nobody play that jug.
with the glass in his finger.
Hey, that's what it is, man. He played that jug.
You know way you played the jug.
I walked right in church with that jug and played this little
And you-
light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine.
You're like, your dad's like, son.
Yeah, play that jug.
And we have a solo by my
Oh
son.
yeah, play that jug. son.
Frederick.
All right.
Say your whole government.
All right. That's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much. Please make sure you like and subscribe wherever you get your content. And if you have a comment, please leave one. We
Yeah,
love hearing from the fans.
Playing the jug at the local church this weekend.
And that's it.